That was me when I'd get like when I'd get like four tables at once, and they go, Neil, take these four, and I go, oh.
Okay, so you brought up, so I'm allowed to tell one Neil story before we get into Neil as the professional. So Neil and I met each other at the Daily Grill in Studio City. We were both waiters. We loved working as waiters. Boy, was that a
Best,
lot of fun.
the
So
best.
I
the
don't
point
remember
is,
that.
the point is that we would have a lot of fun. We met there and we would joke a lot and we screwed around a lot. And it was a good time. But one of my favorite things that Neil ever did was one time we were at the bar picking up our drinks, and Neil does an impression of a fellow by the name of Chris, good old Chris Gomez that we know, right? Chris Gomez.
Oh, I did a lot of impressions. It wasn't just of Chris.
No, but I'm just saying. So he does this impression. I think I just said something like, do your impression of Chris. And he goes, I still remember like it was yesterday. He's like, Chris is just like, right. Then, so I'm laughing my ass off. I go to a table, I drop off, the strawberry lemonade or whatever the hell it was. And then we come back, and then I go, oh, do an impression of me now, Neil. And Neil, I swear, he goes, and I was like, wait, your impression for me is the exact same thing as your impression for Chris? We're very different people. And then, of course, Neil was like, Neil is very like, he likes to wrestle, so he was like, no, it wasn't. They're two different impressions. And then he did both side by side. They were the same. Anyway, I don't know if you remember that, Neil, but it was the greatest day of my life. Thank you.
Okay, I do not remember that. I'll take your word for it that is what I said, and that is actually the face and the sound I made.
Yes,
I don't remember that impression. I
was a sea lion in your mind.
Yeah, it's like, does everyone sound like a hound dog to me?
So now that everyone watching is thoroughly confused because nobody knows who Chris Gomez is.
Chris knows.
Chris, we love you. Knows if you're watching at home, we love you, Chris. And yeah, I think that impression was a little unfair. I'm sure it was. Sure, the way I did it had a little more pathos and a little more
nuance. Yeah. So anyway, Neil, besides all that, besides being an incredible improvisational comedian that can really do impressions, it's fantastic. You are also a really good writer, director, producer. You've made some really cool horror things, horror shorts. I've been fortunate enough to produce, I think, 3 of them with you, and each one seems to be getting better than the previous one. And so I'm really excited for the next ones. But can you talk about some of them for us now?
I can. Should I talk about the one we just recently did?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
That's called Face Your Fears. It's about a young woman terrified of the dark, takes on a pet sitting job, and discovers a box that will cure her fear if she faces it first. And
that's the box.
You can't see it down here, but you.
What's in the box?
Exactly. Right. Exactly. The whole time you're like, "What's in the box?" Well, you have to watch the movie to find out.
Damn it.
It's actually pretty. I'm being very blasé about it, but it's kind of it's a scary movie. It's not a comedy. It's
very good.
In the dark, and it's pretty creepy, I think. But yeah, me and Ryan did that one. It came out I don't know. Last year was like a pandemic, and that kind of changed everything. But it won a bunch of awards on the festival circuit, including the grand jury at my hometown Salem Horror Festival.
Wow.
Nice.
Which I could not attend because it was virtual. But it's on YouTube, and it's got close to, I think, 100,000 views. And I'm trying to make not as many as, Fallingtower, but or as many as views as this is clearly going to get. But it's and I'm trying to make a feature version, but I had to make a different game because it turns out you can't just use the same. It's hard to take the game and then put it into a totally different story and try to get it to work. So I had to create a new board game from scratch. I have a prototype here, but it's
Star.
this is it. This is the X-wing from Star Wars. That's not it. This isn't involved in the movie, but yeah, a new board game horror movie that I'm very excited. I hope I'm gonna start pitching it soon, and it's called Play Dead, and we'll see what happens with that. But that's the other main project, and I have a TV anthology series I'm also writing based on current technological trends and injecting horror sci-fi into it. There's a lot of sci-fi, Ryan, so you might be into this next thing I'm doing.
Nice. Well, I like all of your stuff because everybody at home, Neil is very open-minded. There's certain people that are like, they've got this vision and they stick with it. Neil is more of like a student of the business. He listens, he learns, he asks questions, he hems and haws and says, that's a better idea. I want to stick with this.
Yeah.
And that's why Neil, you and Michael Kenyon Rosenberg are two of my favorite directors to work with, whether it's as an actor or as a producer, and for very similar reasons as well. But yeah, you're great at it because you really put in the time. You workshop the script, you have people read it, you look at it, you study things, you read up on things, and you really kind of try to perfect the art. Whereas a lot of people in this town, they just want to hurry up and be famous already. And they think if they just throw anything out there that their shits don't stink. But the people that know that their shit do stink are the ones that actually are successful, because then they make a second version and then a third version, and then they end up with something really good. And so that's it's really always great to work with you because of what a student of the game you are, and because you're great to work with. You're really easygoing. You keep your mind on the big picture and don't sweat the small stuff. So everybody, I highly recommend when Neil puts out a casting notice, if you see Neil Patrick Stevens.
I don't usually put my middle name in, or you Neil P. I feel like it's too close to Doogie Howser.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, Neil.
Well, the point is, everybody, to go audition for it, because it's going to be a really good product.
My question though is, when did you meet another Michael Kenyon Rosenberg? Because I'm usually too impatient to do all that stuff with my films. I'll like make the film and then I'll like be like, oh God, I gotta edit this thing. What the heck? I hate editing. And
well, my information is a few years old.
I come out with an edit and then I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm putting that on the shelf and I'm never looking at that ever again.
Tomato.
I acted in one of Mike's short films.
Oh, you did,
right?
yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I was like an extra.
Shutterbug.
Right.
Yeah,
That was a terrible one. That one came out
was
like a piece of shit. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was lovely. It was a lovely little story, and I'm in the background. I think with my wife and a couple of the shots.
Mm-hmm. And you also stole the show in a Fallingtower production called The Contest 2.
Oh God.
Which was also a very good item.
That was a long time. That might have been my first IMDb credit. I think
that was 2008.
I wasn't even writing, directing. I don't even think I was acting back then. That was
that one was directed by one Ryan T. Husk.
That was me.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Also starring Tim Springer. But anyway, so the point is, everybody, we'll put some links in the description box below so you can find Neil's goodies. But definitely, at the very least, check out his YouTube page with some of his short films. They're really good. Personally, I'm proud to have worked on them and to have my name on them. And I hope, Neil, you are proud of how they came out too.
I'm very proud. And it was great to work with you. You always bring a fun, light Ryan jokiness to all the sets, which is always a good time. But you're you understand the business side, but you also give a lot of creative input, which, I'm happy to receive. And thank you for your kind words. A lot of it is just insecurity about knowing if what you're doing is good enough. And I'm just like, give me ideas. What do you think? What do you think? I don't know.
It works.
But it works. I think that's an underrated thing. Just admit that, you got a shitty idea, and then like, all right, well, how do we make this better? I hit up Ryan, and he gives me
more shitty ideas.
10 shitty, but there'll be one.
And then you go, wait a minute, wait,
nugget.
There we go. I'm going to use this.
Yeah, this might be something. So I too hope to be proud of something one day, but okay.
You should be.
Episode, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, people are like, okay, well, if you guys are done in each other's dicks real quick, can you get back to the show? So the point is,
all right, let's mop it up.
Yeah, let's get back to the show. So anyway, Neil, thanks so much for joining us. Everybody check the description box below for his goodies.